you hear all these things about training for longevity in the modern day sense, depending on where you get your information from, right? We should be squatting, we should be deadlifting, at least that's what we preach. That's what we talk about. Some people say to stay away from it because it's feared, because it's kind of almost ignorance to the fact of this is what the body should be able to do for the long term. This is how you stay injury free. Over time, as you get older, for the elderly, this actually, right, lifting and weight loading and weight bearing on your joints assists you tenfold, 20-fold in
everyday
bone
movement.
density, right, in joint integrity, and being able to reach overhead to grab a plate off of a high cabinet, to be able to pick up a grandchild, which we've had a couple of accounts of. One of our women here started, she was pre-osteoporotic, right? Immediately 6 to 8 months later, I think she went back for a checkup, and she was like mid-normal range in her bone density, which is incredible just from weightlifting. Didn't even drastically change much else, right? She actually like lost weight, got stronger, but wasn't by any means overweight, wasn't unhealthy, right? And then another one was, another woman was able to pick up her grandkids and play with them and run around for like 2 hours, and they got tired and she didn't, which is incredible, right? So that's proof in the pudding right there. But they were able to come in here and know that they're not trying to overdo it.
Exactly.
Right? They came in with, obviously, we're here on the podcast, we own a gym, we run it, we have the programming that we program for people because we want to show people that you can do it. You could deadlift off the floor. You could create change at any age.
And it's like this thought of democratizing strength training, right?
Yeah.
It's that everyone can do it. We have people that are coming in that are D1 athletes or high school kids like about to go play D1 sports or any division sports, deadlifting next to 60-year-old women. And it's that everyone can do these, but you have to do them at your own pace and with good form and good intention.
Yeah, and at the bottom, right, baseline, your body should be to stay healthy and perform at some type of level. For an athlete, it's performing at 100% most of the time during the season. But how do you stay healthy and get stronger in the off season? For a 65-year-old person, it's performing still, but living life is performing well. Just getting up out of the car, sitting in a low sports car instead of, right, getting up off of the couch, picking things up off the ground. So I think at a baseline, it's like, right, strength training leads to a longevity-based lifestyle, regardless if you're an athlete, if you're an elder person, right? Based off of how you're approaching the gym day in and day out, right? It's non-ego lifting. It's still keeping your body healthy to perform in whichever way your performance dictates.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the conversation that we get to have because of the structure of what we talk about so much. And it's not necessarily about strength training to achieve the aesthetics that you may be looking for, but that the aesthetics will be a secondary to the strength training.
Yeah, and the dieting.
And the dieting. But that the strength training will allow you to just live an overall healthier life. And that healthier life will result in you being able to move better, in you not having pain that will be chronic or crippling. So you're gonna have less or not have that back pain. You're gonna have better shoulder mobility, right? You're gonna be able to use your muscles. You're gonna be able to get up and out of chairs. You're gonna be able to go food shopping, right, your entire life. So if you think about our 85-year-old selves, what do you want to be able to do? I like this thought of where you want to be when you're 85. What freedoms do you want when you're 85 years old? And I can imagine if I talk to most people, they want to be able to handle themselves. They want to be able to go to the bathroom themselves. They want to be able to get out of bed. You want to be able to go food shopping, sit down in a restaurant. You want to go, if you want to go take a trip out of the country and go walk around in Europe somewhere, it's a beautiful scene. Those are the freedoms that you want to be able to have when you're 85, and the only way to have them is to build the capacity for those things when you're younger. If you don't do those things, you're not going to have a body that's apt to be able to function at that level when you're that old.
And like life is so fleeting in the sense of like your youth only lasts a certain amount of time. For a lot of people, right, we're in this big wellness, fitness culture based off of social media. There's so much motivation and push for that, right? Maybe the generation before us wasn't as educated, and you can see some of the results of some of that with the old school mindset of certain things. It just wasn't with the times, right? Working out wasn't necessarily what they did, but it's, how do you set yourself up? And you see some of these former athletes that got the shit beat out of them in college as working out every day, 2-a-days, practicing, taking hits on the field, doing whatever they're doing, and they start to resent workout, and they almost fall into a crazy pit of terrible shape. when they're done with their athletic careers, whether they're 20 years old or 30 years old, right? If they're professional or something, right? But all in all, it's the same conversation of living life to live life, like working out to live life and become better and stronger in a way that's conducive to you. And I was going to go back to even you, right? You say, okay, cool. You could have said I was a great football player. I did this, I did that, right? But then like, you might be better now, right? You've even alluded to the fact of the way that you approach your squat, your technique, your loading, your movement. Obviously, getting on the field and going 100%, 100 miles an hour, totally different stress on the body that your joints have to adapt to in the other way, but that's why you're playing. But yeah, like getting the hell beat out of you in the weight room, doing all these crazy things, all this stuff that the coaches put you through. It's like, how do you come out of that and reform it? And then it's like when you do come out of it and you learn over 8, 10, 12 years and you train into your 30s, into your 40s, into your 50s the right way, you're almost better off, right? Yeah. Your joints, your body is put together better. Everything's running a little bit more optimally as you're getting older, which is beautiful when you train properly and when you organize it that way.